Our next guest, a best-selling author and co-host of Morning Joe, which airs weekday mornings at 6 on MSNBC. Please welcome back to the show, Mika Brzezinski, everybody. Welcome back. It's so lovely to have you.
It's nice to be here.
It's a very long day. I appreciate someone who starts their day. I don't start your day, but you're on camera at 6 a.m.
On camera 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. every day.
Every single day.
And I say sort of because it's just kind of a stressful time. Anything going on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I'm talking about it 15 minutes a day, and you guys are talking about it 4 hours a day. Now, to talk about anything for 4 hours a day would be daunting.
It's
but
a lot.
And here you are in the final days. How are you processing it all?
I think women and the men who get it will be the beacon of hope in this election. I think what I'm feeling is I'm just working as hard as I can to tell the stories of what the consequences of a second Trump presidency would be. And it comes down to women, because women are already suffering the Trump's America that came out of his first presidency.
Right, this is a thing he accomplished. It's a thing he brags about.
A threat that he said that he would do. He thought women should be punished. And let me tell you, they are being punished in the most dreadful, horrific ways. There are women who are going through unbelievable medical traumas because of reproductive emergencies, and also women with other healthcare issues that involve the reproductive organs who cannot get the healthcare, life-saving healthcare that they need, and they're dying, or they're having to prove they're dying enough to get care, or they're being forced to bring unviable pregnancies to term to have a baby that will suffer and die in their arms, and then live with that. And one woman I spoke to became suicidal after this experience that was forced on her to carry an unviable pregnancy for over 3 months, and then to have to give birth and watch her son die. And this is because the medical care is available, but Trump's abortion bans keeps the hospitals from providing it. That's sick. That's Trump's America for women. And it's here, and it's a nightmare.
You've been drawing a lot of attention to this. You've been doing panels with women who've been affected by this. You framed it quite accurately, may I say, as a matter of life and death.
Yes.
There are bad faith actors on the right, who I truly believe know better, who are accusing you of being hyperbolic, of overreacting.
Mental breakdown, too emotional.
And yet it's shocking to me that people who would claim to be pro-life are so willing to ignore the loss of life that is happening directly from, you know, this...
From these bans. There are women who are losing their lives. And I say the men who get it because there are a lot of men who love their wives, their girlfriends, their sisters, their moms, and they wouldn't want to see this pain on anybody, let alone someone they love. But I also know that there's a growing number of men who have been a part of these traumas. We're working with the media and Cindy Levy and Cecile Richards and Abortion in America to bring in these stories. And I'm speaking to a woman from Atlanta tomorrow morning who was violently hemorrhaging and could not get the health care she needed in the middle of a miscarriage. But the point is that we are trying to show these stories, and one of them involved a husband who was weeping because the thought of his wife having a miscarriage was beyond brutal. But the thought of losing his wife, when the health care was right there, was causing him to weep. These men get it. Men get it. This is an issue that impacts women and men. And this is an issue we can make a choice on by voting in this election. Now, I want to say it must repulse you when the same man who, made the choices that led this to happen is in the clip that we show. He says he's going to protect all women. Oh, God, it's beyond disgusting. But I think to be overreactive is exactly what they want, and kind of, saying something back. I think the bigger thing is to think about the way that he talks and to really look at history and to look at some of the things he has said. It is called normalization when you say shocking lies and distortions. It's normalization when you repeat things over and over again that are threats, that seem anti-democratic or even criminal. And that's the descent into fascism. That's the choice at hand in this election. He is speaking right now like a fascist, talking about wanting to use the military to attack his enemies, naming names. And when you repeat these things over and over again, like abortion bans are a beautiful thing, they're a beautiful thing. January 6th was a day of love. It was a day of love. I'm going to have a January 6th choir with the people who were arrested for defecating on the Capitol and trying to kill the people who lead this country, who were elected into office. This is normalization, and he does it over and over again, and it's time to see it for what it is.
Well, I'm very glad you're drawing so much attention to this issue, because I feel like in this sea of disinformation and normalization, you've done a really nice job of bringing it to the forefront. And I think in these final days, people need to keep remembering that this is a thing that he's done that is sort of, certainly in my mind, unforgivable. He used to be on your show a lot, and now he says he doesn't watch it. What do you say?
Oh, no, he watches. This man has, well, one thing we can all agree on is that he has no discipline. And, you know, they tell him not to say something, he says it and says, I was told not to say it. Unfortunately, he watches.
It's very funny to think of him being like, no Morning Joe today.
No.
I can do it.
Can't do it. Oh, believe me.
Kamala Harris did say that she watches. She's part of your morning routine.
Joe and I have known Kamala and Doug for a while, and she's, I think, doing an incredible job. Everything that's been asked of her and then some, and has really had to rise to the occasion and confront the unexpected at every corner, every turn in the few months that she's been on the campaign trail. And they ask her to be flawless, and then they've got a convicted felon who vomits disinformation or threats out of his mouth, spewing lies daily. It's quite a choice we have here. I'm hoping everybody votes.
Now, I will say, I sometimes think, right, we can poke fun at the idea that there are people presented these two options are still undecided. But the reality is they are, and we have to respect the fact that they have as much time to make their choice.
Yes, of course. People have been busy. Some people are just tuning in. And that's why I'm bringing these stories to the forefront, because I really think there's a lot of, it's hard to comprehend a president using the military against his enemies. I can understand how that just seems so far-fetched, right? But seeing a woman bleeding out in an ER waiting room, seeing her husband weeping and praying for her life, while lawyers are trying to decide whether she should get the medical care that is right there available to her, that's real, that's tangible, and that has happened because of Donald Trump. And to me, that is all you need to sort of understand the direction we're heading in. This is not a direction we want to continue.
I certainly hope those people who are undecided come to that conclusion as well. How will you be watching the returns on election night? You'll be going in the next morning, obviously.
I'll be pacing.
Yeah.
And I might go to church. And
you can't really drink because you have an early call.
No. Yeah, I'm up. Well, who's sleeping right now? Anybody?
Yeah, no, we're not. Okay. I'm not sleeping great. What time does it really start, though, for you?
I get up at 4-ish, 4:30.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you know what? Right now, with all that's at stake, all I want to do is work.
Yeah.
Because I feel like any moment you have is a moment you can make a difference. Maybe bring someone to vote. Whatever it is you can do. Now's the time not to sit still.
I feel very lucky in these times. It is very cathartic to talk about this. It also is very nice for me to work at this place for 10 years with the same staff and crew,
That's
basically.
Great.
And it is like a family environment.
Yes.
And in these trying times, I feel a great comfort in being around them. I have to imagine it's the same for you when you walk onto the Morning Joe set.
Our Morning Joe is a family.
Yeah.
And so it does feel like we're just all banding together and supporting each other. And our staff is incredible, and there's just a few of us, and they do the most incredible job, and a lot of them are really young. And I do think that that's another important factor in this election. This is your future. It's gonna completely change in a direction that you can't even imagine. So we want young people to get out and vote. And if this is the one election, if you're 30, if you're 40, if you're 20, if this is the one election that you finally get out there, come on, Let's go. It's go time.
Yeah, it's go time. They give you a sticker. You get a
Come
little
on,
sticker.
you get a sticker.
And by the way, like, just do it. Like, otherwise, she's gonna get drunk on Tuesday and have to do a show.
I will.
It's 6 a.m.
But seriously, do you really want to let this election go by and look back and think there was something I could have done?
Yeah.
You really want to do that? I don't think so.
This is the one.
Come
This is the
on.
one to do something.
Yeah.
What a pleasure to have you here. Thank you so much
you.
for everything you're doing.
Thank you.
Really important stories.
Yeah.
Nikki Brzezinski, everybody. Morning Joe airs weekday mornings at 6 on MSNBC. We'll be right back.